there's something about people who just go a little bit faster than everybody else. They switch lanes a little bit quicker while they're driving. It's something about feeling like you're in control, like you're in control of your destiny, like you're moving quicker to your goals, or the ability to change lanes. I don't know. Welcome everyone back into Crypto's news. It's been a minute since I catch up with you guys, and admittedly I've been training for my new job. I haven't had much time. I'm finally done with training, but I haven't had much time to actually be following things as closely, let alone make a video. Although of course I've still looked over the headlines and seen what's going on. But it looks like, yeah, crypto's taking a bit of break, and some of that might have to do with the Fed announcement. Apparently Jerome Powell came out and said because of the economy looking still too good, too strong, unemployment not really creeping up, that means there's still room for interest rates to continue to go up, for them to hike higher than was previously expected. So this puts some pressure on stock market and crypto somewhat today, because it means that the good times, them reversing course, might be a little bit further away than what was anticipated. I had read at least one source that had said that 7% interest rates, we're like at just over 5%. 7% interest rates is in line with where they want inflation to be, with their target of inflation. So they still have room to hike rates. It's the potential that rather than hiking rates 25 basis points like they've been doing recently, now maybe more likely that they would have the ability to hike rates at 50 basis points, right? Or higher than 25 basis points. Go back to higher bumps up, apologies there, than the market had been anticipating before they pause and eventually reverse course. So this is pretty much what's going on with that. There's drama. It's crypto, right? It's going to be drama. There's concerns around Coinbase's layer 2 network base right now, because Brian Armstrong did an interview with Joe something or whatever on a podcast, and at one point he said that the company, centralized exchanges, basically have to do anti-money laundering, which means that they do have to collect information, KYC information, know your customer information, and keep that on file in order to provide that information if authorities request them. Different agencies, courts, IRS, they have to keep that information on file, so they collect information on names, addresses, know your customer, which can be a honeypot for hackers. If they hack into companies, they take that information, they can use that against individuals. They can use that digitally to pretend to be someone, to log into their accounts. They can use that to find physical locations of people's residences, for example, and target them that way. It could be something quite bad if it falls into the wrong hands, and oftentimes it does, which is why there's such a big stink about KYC information and AML information being collected by these companies. But because of banking regulations and so on, they are required, exchanges, to collect that information. And so Coinbase is saying that their layer 2 network, it was basically implied, it was not strictly stated, implied that their layer 2 network base, when that does release, might have anti-money laundering measures. And he did say that they hope to decentralize more over time. So maybe it starts off centralized, but how does it start off centralized, collecting that information, and slowly become decentralized and not collect that information? I think that's the pill people are trying to swallow. It doesn't really make any sort of sense. So while there is a potential that, wow, wouldn't it be incredible if for the US dollar, right, if USDC stablecoin, supported so much by Coinbase, maybe becomes like the de facto stablecoin of their new layer 2 network, gets huge amounts of adoption, and it provides new utility for the US dollar. Wow, it keeps the US dollar at the top of the hegemony. I don't know why the powers that be wouldn't want USDC and stablecoins to be around, because it provides even more utility for these dying fiat currencies, and a better way for them to engage with these new networks and with DeFi and everything else. And wow, if Coinbase is the place to be using this, because they're able to operate their layer 2 with zero fees for USDC, because the amount of this was a discussion that was taking place yesterday, I believe, on Reddit that I had seen, that they collect billions from USDC, because basically they park the fiat that they collect in the bank, and they are in the form of treasury bills, and they're able to collect so much revenue from the interest that they earn on the USDC held on reserve. So while users are using their network, basically Coinbase is just moving to, they're just doing accounting between themselves with the USDC oftentimes, but still collecting all that money in the background from the interest payments that they receive from the traditional banking system. And so for them, it would be a really cool thing to be able to offer zero fees on USDC. People would love to use something like that. It would drive adoption, continued adoption of the Ethereum network that it would operate over, and could be a big win for the dollar. So like, why not? Well, I think it really goes at odds with this idea of sovereignty, of the individual having privacy, not having that be collected and held. And you know, if you get hacked, that was oftentimes your fault in crypto, rather than that company got hacked, you trusted them, and now you have to deal with lawsuits and banking regulators, which is what what this has been about, moving away from, right? Trying to build a parallel economy and so on. So yeah, I wanted to touch base on that. FTX filed an appeal again to try to not get an investigator from the court to look into FTX. Good luck with that, because FTX is saying that it's going to cost about $100 million to pay for this investigation into them, and that's going to be a bill that's footed by creditors when that just does not need to happen. So they're trying to get that to not happen, although it looks like there will be a court-appointed examiner. Yeah. I'm trying to really just keep track of what the main things that are going on and themes. I think this is going to give you guys a lot more value, since I'm not just doing daily videos and trying to scrounge something up, and it's hard to figure out what the main themes are oftentimes when you watch these videos, I imagine, or what things are heading toward. But navigating forward, I think crypto is just going to be more and more relevant personally, because I think right now the investing community is feeling really confused. They're like, but where do I park my money, right? I think right now many are pointing at treasury bills. Oh, you can get 5% risk-free. Okay, yeah, you can get 5% annually on these bonds, right, if you buy bonds. But really the opportunities where the market at these lows are on those ticker symbols, stocks, cryptos, whatever, that will be getting exponential increases way beyond 5% gains if you're able to figure out what those are, position yourself appropriately in order to be in the place to take advantage of what will be climbing many multiples when things shift back toward risk assets. So I think it's a time to try to be identifying the themes that will be relevant, the names that will be relevant, and so on. So thank you all for joining me and being a part of this while we try to figure it out together. I do feel like things will be a little bit clearer with fewer videos. So let me know what you guys think. I love each and every one of you. Thank you to those of you guys still on Patreon and YouTube sponsors. I know I haven't been doing live streams. I don't know how those will be happening. They will probably be more rare and I think more special in that sort of way when they do happen. So I do announce the live streams coming up. Hopefully you do get a chance to make it out. But yeah, take care, much love, and stay cryptic. Peace.